Hey folks, welcome to this MasterThatGear video. I was very fortunate to be sent a sample pack of picks from a company called Chicken Picks. So I thought it'd be a great idea to do a MasterThatGear video with them, of course, just to show you what they're all about, how they're constructed, how they feel, that sort of thing. So let's kick things off and look at the models that are available. So here we have two original series Chicken Picks. We've got a regular and a light model here. Now the regular is slightly thicker. That's a 2.6mm thick pick here. You can see you've got it written in the back there, which helps a little bit with grip. And the light gauge one, instead of 2.6, is 2.2mm in thickness. And the first thing that strikes you about Chicken Picks is how kind of solid they feel. They're made from a thermoset plastic, and they have a kind of almost kind of chalky feel to them a little bit, but they're quite substantial, kind of feeling weight wise. I know this is a 2.6mm one, so it is quite a chunky pick anyway, but you do feel as if it's a really solid pick. There's no way this is going to bend. You know, I guess if you were to put this, you know, have to put it in a vise and try and bend it, you'd probably break it, but there's no way this is going to break when you're picking strings with it. Now you can see design wise, you know, this is pretty standard kind of pick shape, but the edges are beveled here, so it's a slightly thicker pick, as I said, 2.6mm. You can see the edges are beveled, the kind of sharp edge, and it comes down to the tip as well. So it's not a sharp tip, it's got a standard tip, but as you see from there, it bevels down, so you get a little bit less kind of contact with the string there. So it's got quite a sharp kind of attack. This is the 2.2s, it's basically the same, just slightly thinner. You know, just a thinner feel if you don't want that kind of thick pick kind of feel. Now size wise, as I said, these are kind of standard size, but if you compare them to, say, like a Jazz 3, this is standard Jazz 3 pick there, you can see kind of size difference there. And obviously a Jazz 3, you know, this is an Ultex Jazz 3, it's pretty thin. And then if you've got like an XL, that's the kind of size if you compare to the XL there. And you can see the difference between obviously the XL and Jazz 3. You've got sharper tips on them. These are a bit more kind of standard pick shapes basically. Here we have the Shredder pick, which is the thickest pick that Chicken Picks offer. As the name implies, I suppose it's almost geared towards people who are a little bit more prefer a thicker pick for shreddier kind of picking styles, I suppose. But you know, you can play whatever. It's just a pick. You can see the shape of it here is really thick, 3.5mm there, but it tapers to a point. You know, tapers to a point there, tapers to a point there. So this may be, you know, for people who prefer just a little bit more thickness in the hand, if you will. You can see you've got your 3.5mm grip in the back there, and it feels quite comfy. Size wise, you can see it's a little bit, it's hard to tell maybe, but it's a little bit smaller than the Chicken Pick regular and light kind of shapes. If you compare it to a Jazz 3, as usual, you can see it's bigger than the Jazz 3 there, but if you compare it to the XL, you can see they're similar kind of length, I suppose. Yeah, similar length there, but obviously just a bit more of a standard shape pick rather than a Jazz pick. Yeah, so that might, you know, if you're comfortable with the length of an XL, but you want a kind of thicker pick, the Shredder might be a kind of option for you. And as usual, you know, it's made from thermoplastic. It feels a real weighty kind of feel to it. So it's a very substantial kind of pick. Next we have the first of the picks from what Chicken Picks call the Tritone 3 series, which really, as the name implies, you can see you've got 3 points in these picks here. And this is the Bermuda model. And again, we've got kind of a kind of thick and a thin pick here, we've got a 2.7mm, so it's the heavier of the two picks, and then the slightly thinner one is a 2.1mm pick, so slightly thinner if you don't again feel the thick pick, or you want a slightly thicker pick. Now, just like the kind of standard series, original series, the edges are beveled here, as you can see, but we've got 3 points here as well, which is quite handy. The interesting thing to see is actually these 2 points are a little bit sharper than that original point, if you want to do this like that. So it does give you an option to have a slightly less or slightly sharper tip, less rounded kind of tip. But you can see again all the edges are beveled down to kind of the point, and really nicely done as well. It's a really clean job there, and just like the other one, it's got a nice kind of weighty feel to it. So this, you know, may appeal to people who want to get a little bit more pick for their buck. You know, you get 3 points there, or people who prefer kind of a wider pick, depends how you hold it. You know, if you like your thumb to be covering quite a lot of pick when you're holding it, these are quite nice for that. And of course the thinner one is just exactly the same. Just a slightly thinner pick there, thinner kind of feel, but you can see all the nice kind of beveled edges there. And again, if you were comparing these to like a Jazz 3, you know, so a little Jazz 3, you can see much more width there. Or if we were comparing it to like an XL, you know, you can see the it's a different style of pick, of course, but lengthwise is a little bit shorter than an XL, and you've got a little bit more of a rounded tip. The other model available in the Tritone 3 series is these picks here called the Badazz 3, and this is the ones I've actually personally kind of prefer shape-wise, and I've actually been playing this one here for most of the week, and this is a 2mm Badazz 3, which is a nice kind of feel to it. And then this is a slightly thicker one, which is a 2.5mm, you know, and again, of course, it's all the same thermoset plastic, so it's got that nice kind of feel to it. You can hear the sound of it there as I'm dropping it. But these ones are quite, personally, it's the kind of shape of pick I quite like. It's very similar to the, you know, a jazz style pick, hence the name Badazz, I guess. And again, all these edges are nicely beveled, and you can see nice sharper point in these ones, and you've got that nice kind of sharp edge all the way around, and a nice kind of, you know, rounded kind of jazz bit at the top there. And this one, of course, is slightly thicker, so this, you know, again, if you want a slightly thicker feeling kind of pick, but you want that kind of nice sharp beveled tip, this would give you that option. And again, these are a bit more of a jazz style pick, so if we do actually compare this to a Jazz 3, you can see the kind of similarities there. These are just a little bit wider and a slightly shallower curve at the top, but lengthwise, compared to a Jazz 3, you know, it's just a little bit bigger there. You know, it's a little bit bigger. Tip's very, very similar, but it's a little bit bigger. Well, it's almost actually the same length actually, but it's the width. This is why I prefer, because I found Jazz 3s were a little bit too small for me, and it was the width of the pick that was kind of the issue for me. Yeah, so that's it compared to the, you know, our little Jazz 3 there. And then of course with an XL, you can see it's a similar kind of thing going on. The XL is a little bit longer compared to these guys, but the kind of width is the same, and this is a little bit of a sharper tip, I suppose you could say there. So I've been playing with this Badazz pick for over a week, so I thought I'd offer some thoughts on it. Hopefully it'll give you a little bit more information about chicken picks. And picks are a very personal thing, so it's really ideally you want to try a pick out for yourself to see if you it's for you, because the sizes, the thickness, the way it sounds, all that sort of stuff is very hard to kind of get across in a video. But impressions of it, I mean, it's a great pick. It's absolutely solid, and I like, you know, I don't like any thin picks or anything like that, so I've been using this 2mm one. The thicker picks are a little bit too thick for me, because I prefer, probably 2mm is the max I would go. I mean, I had tried 3mm picks and stuff in the past, but eventually found the 2mm is just a bit more comfortable. As a material, the thermoplastic that is used, initially when I picked it up, it felt quite slippy to the grip, and I thought, I might kind of drop that. But I think fresh out the pack, they might just be covered in a little bit of dust from the production process or something, but over the days I've been using it, that's kind of gone away. It's got a nice kind of grip to it. I know there's the kind of grips either side there, the thickness is in kind of grip, and you've got the Chicken Picks logo and stuff that will help as well. But that's quite a thing with me. Sometimes if I'm doing kind of funky strumming stuff, it's tendency, if you've got a slippier pick, that will ping out the hands, you know, so it's nice, it's got kind of nice grip there. Durability wise, as I said, I've been playing this maybe for about an hour a day for a week, and there's a little tiny little bit of wear on the edge there because of the way I hold my pick. It begins to bevel a certain way, but looking at it, I think this will probably have a good bit of longevity to it. I know the website says you know, you probably get about a year's worth of playing out of it, and it does feel as if it's a good solid material for that, but it depends what you play, how hard you hit, how many notes you play. All these things kind of factor in, but I would guess, you know, for the money, you get a good bit of durability out of this pick. And the edge, the beveling and stuff is quite nice as well. It's not a really sharp point. Picks with really sharp points tend to wear down quicker because you want a sharp point, and that's going to wear down quite quick. Because it's a little bit rounded, you get a bit more lifetime out of it as well. But the bevel is quite nice because it allows you just to control your tone, your attack in the string a little bit, you know, so you can make it a bit fatter or dig in a little bit more. Yeah, so that's quite nice because that bevel's there, it gives you that kind of sharp edge. And tone wise, I mean, it's again, it's hard to portray in a video, but there's no high pitched chirp there. It's not quite as warm as maybe kind of a softer pick because it's a really hard pick, but personally for me, I quite like that anyway, because I quite like a kind of a sharp attack. And it's not overly smooth, so if you're doing a bit more kind of economy picking, whatever, I like that, being able to feel the string. So sometimes if a pick's like really smooth, maybe like an acrylic pick that's not ground down at the edges, it just glides a little bit too easy for me personally. I quite like to feel the string underneath, which you get with these picks, which is quite nice too. So that's kind of Chicken Picks. If you're interested in them, check out chickenpicks.com. They're on Twitter as well, and Facebook. And the guys have got great customer service, because one of the picks I got, the shredder pick, had a slight crack or something in it, so a wee tiny bit of the tip had cracked away, and I just got in contact with Eppo, the guy behind Chicken Picks, and great customer service. He sent me out another one straight away, so that's good to know that there's some good customer service there too. So if you go to the website, you'll be able to see all the models that we talked about today, and if you see anything you like, you know, order them up, check them out, see what you think. Be interested to see if you do. Mention in the comments below, let me know what you think of them. So stay tuned for more MasterThatGear videos. I've got a load on the way. You may have seen I've got a bunch of exotic pedals in, which is quite cool, so keep an eye out on the channel, and I'll be going through gear demos of them. So until then, have fun.